All right, good morning. Good morning. We are excited about this as top performers and our virtual top performers. And we've had a lot of requests from our agents around Texas in order to have this training done, that this is Ultima Real Estate's top training that we have available to you, but before it was never available, and it is now because we're doing this live and virtually and going to have it recorded for you. We've had just amazing results with people from this process, and so I'll talk about that a little bit later. Right now I'm going to keep you on, so like if you have any questions, if you have any comments, this should run for about an hour and a half, and it literally has the power to change your life. You're going to hear some things today that you're just going to love, and you're going to realize just what a magnificent and brilliant creator that you are. And so I'm going to also just downsize the screen, and I think I can do it that way. Yes, I can. Good. And so this is why the Think, Feel, and Grow Rich is because my last book that I wrote is called that, Think, Feel, and Grow Rich, and that's what I really help people do, is to understand that their magnificent power is with how they think, and their thoughts then create feelings, and those feelings send a signal to God, their source, and then it is responded to you, and God responds to you. So ask and you shall receive, and you'll see that you'll grow rich, and you'll grow rich in many, many ways. The most important way is that you'll grow rich in feeling good. And so you'll find that your feelings are most important. It's your communication system that you have with your source. So I am so excited. I'm Dr. Hank, and you can call me the Hankers or whatever. That most people just kind of, my nickname is Dr. Hank, but and I'll tell you a little bit about me, that where the doctor comes from is University of Wisconsin. That's where my accent comes from too. I was born in Wisconsin, and I have my undergraduate degree in business, my master's in human behavior, and then my PhD in mental science. And so I'm a mental scientist, and I have taught people for really specifically for the last 19 years on how to become a magnificent and brilliant creator and have all the things, have your dreams come true. And so let me just see here that I am hitting enter and it's not doing anything. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. A little about top performers in this process. This process, typically, the investment that individuals pay is $2,500 per person. That I actually have trained and developed executives, and they've paid as much as $25,000 for this virtually basically the same process and training that you're going to have. It is free to you because you are a Ultima Real Estate agent, and again, it's now available to you. And again, for those that just came in to our webinar here, that I have all your mics on. So if you do have questions, let me know. But at the same time, make sure your background is quiet. Otherwise, I'll have to mute you. And so this is paid by your broker, Paul Bermudez. So Paul pays me in order to do this, and I just love, this is my passion, and you will see that as this unfolds just beautifully like a flower for you. And so we're going to be meeting for actually 5 Wednesdays, so 4 Wednesdays more after today. And so next Wednesday, same thing, 10:30 to 12. I would suggest that you're on it live if you can do that. because being on live will help you to be able to ask questions and just be engaged in this. And again, I will have it recorded. And you're going to have next week, I'm going to give you just an amazing profile and assessment on each one of you, and so you're going to see that that normally retails for $300, and again for yours for free, and but it's going to show just some amazing things about you, who you are, where your stress maybe is coming from, and so that we'll review next week. And so a little about me. Who is this Dr. Hank guy? That I was on the fast track with Procter & Gamble. And so I was with Procter & Gamble for 15 years. And about the 13th and a half year with them that our market share was expiring, and we were starting to lose our market share because of our patents were expiring, and because our patents were expiring, that we were a private label came in and really negatively affected us. So I decided that I would develop a process, and as I was on the fast track with Procter, they had me on a lot of meetings. A lot of training and development, like half my time was there. The other half, I was managing a $1 billion business in the Southeast United States. And so I decided, how can I overcome this? And I developed a process, which this is the birth of this process happened about 19 years ago when I was with Procter & Gamble. I had such amazing results with the people, both professionally and personally, that, for example, I increased our sales by 23%, decreased our costs by 34%, and again on a $1 billion business. So it was incredible results. But importantly, and what I loved about it, is it also helped people in their personal lives and really helped them to grow and have deeper, more meaningful relationships and to be happier with themselves, and to have better health, and all kinds of amazing things started to happen. So I left Procter & Gamble, and I started my own consulting business, again about 19 years ago. And my first client was Procter & Gamble. And then I had IBM and Chase, and so virtually a lot of top Fortune 500 companies have actually been with this process and used this process. And so I developed a success formula that guarantees specific, measurable business results, but also helps people to improve their life. I then built a $1 million business, and all because of this just amazing opportunity that I had with this process. I was able to help individuals, help teams, and then help organizations. Then, though, I was involved in a car accident, and I actually broke my neck about 12 years ago, and I was in severe pain. I was told that I would have chronic pain the rest of my life. I was told that I basically couldn't function normally ever again because of that. And so I was in a coma, and I was in the valley of death. And I was literally asked at that time by God's Spirit that, do I want to stay or do I want to go? And I said I wanted to stay. I wanted to stay in this world, and I wanted to do my passion. I wanted to teach people on how life really does work, and who God is, and that we sometimes have some beliefs that we've been told that really aren't our beliefs. And so I've been able to recognize that, and again help literally thousands of people with this process. And I lost, though, in that, while I had broken my neck, I lost everything: my wife, my money, my possessions, my health, everything I had lost. I lost the fight and struggle of life, and I found the green zone. And today we're going to talk about how you will find the green zone also, and how you're going to become your greatest possibility, and how it's really going to touch your minds, your hearts, your souls. And so this is much greater than just some training to increase your business, even though it is training that will increase your business. And so top performers, this is for you if you want to create a thriving business and a thriving life. If you want to become a deliberate creators, we are all creators. We just typically haven't been very deliberate, and I'm going to help you to understand on how you're this deliberate, brilliant creator. And that this process will also help you to manifest your desires and your dreams. Many of our dreams that we have kind of forgot about them, let go of them, or some of them we just feel will never come to us. And I'm here to help you to build that dream machine again. And as you do, and as you expand your imagination, and as you continue to think about your dreams, that your dreams are going to start coming true. You're going to have more money, better health, better relationships. So how to live in the green zone, that you're going to learn how to think about what you want. Most of us think about things that we don't want. And so I'll give you an example. If you woke up this morning and started saying, oh, my back hurts, or whatever, some physical ailment, that by focused attention, wherever you focus on your attention on, it grows. So if you're focusing, as you're this amazing creator, that as you focus your thoughts, your attention on something that you don't want, such as, oh, I have a bad shoulder. If you have like a bad right shoulder, think about your good left shoulder. And I'm sharing with you that it'll literally start moving over to your right shoulder. If you woke up this morning and you're walking out and you say, oh, gosh, I'm going to have to face that traffic, you're going to have traffic. Like my wife Sharon, she just always gets so upset with me because we'll be driving along, and that we're driving along 60 miles per hour or whatever down the highway, and always on the other side of the road is all the traffic jams. And she goes on Sunday, she said, I'd like to go to this restaurant, but there won't be any parking spots. And I said, you're thinking about what you don't want. And so what I want you to do is think about what you do want. So what do you want, Sharon? And she goes, well, I want a parking spot. And I said, you know what? Better yet, I want a parking spot right in front of that restaurant. And when we pull up there, it's just jam-packed, cars all over. Church had just been let up. And there's a spot right open right in the front by the door. And she just goes, how does this happen? The fact is that you can make life work for you instead of working against you, and it's about thinking about what you do want. You're also going to learn how to quiet the committee in your mind. And we're going to get into this more a little bit later, but each one of us have this committee in our mind of fear and worry and doubt and complaining and blaming and shame and guilt. There's all kinds of committee members, and maybe those you have some of those committee members that haunt you. And I'm sharing with you that by placing your attention away from them and not thinking about them anymore, they'll go away. And that they'll be replaced by all the things that you want, such as love, empowerment, appreciation, happiness, joy, peace, all of those things that you can raise you have the power to raise yourself and your emotions to, on leaving that low level of the fear and the worry and the committee members, and moving up and realizing your greatest possibility and aligning with all that you are and all that is. So you'll start recognizing that nothing has power over you. You have all the power. There's no person, there's no circumstance, there's no event, there's nothing. There's no past thing that has power over you unless you allow it. And allowing it would only be focusing my attention and my thoughts on it. And so you'll see on how easy this is going to be to start focusing your attention on the things that you do want. We're also going to talk about the 4 zones of thoughts. There's 3 red zones, and those are zones that aren't to our advantage, and they increase our stress and they decrease our success. And then we're going to talk about the green zone and living in the green zone, where you are very deliberate, and you're deliberate in the things of thinking about the things that you do want. And then finally, you'll learn how your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings are actually what creates the energy in order to have everything to be, do, and have everything that you want. And again, most of this teaching that I have that you have not been exposed to, so I ask you to just be easy on yourself and just figure, well, if it's helped so many other people before me, that, I'll just give it a break. So I just ask you to just allow this and just listen to this and gently and softly listen to these thoughts and be thinking about you and thinking about how you want to be even better than you already are. And I'll give you a couple of case studies, and these happen to be all ultimate real estate agents that I have, executives that run billion-dollar companies, down to people that are working on automobiles, the automobile repairman, what they call technicians, used to be mechanics. That this works for anybody and everybody. And so Tirsha Freeman, after she went through this process, that she said, I now live in the green zone and I've tripled my income to 6 figures. In fact, her business took off so much that in 2013, she worked for about 4 months and then took the rest of the year off. And so, I want you to start thinking about, wow, I really like that idea. That gives me freedom. And one of the reasons why we're here is for more freedom. And I'm going to show you to have the freedom that you've always desired. Tim Autry, he's just an unbelievable guy that when I first met him, he was a real estate agent for 4 years, basically didn't have a couple of deals here and there in the 4-year time. He was working 3 jobs, overworked, minimum wage jobs, working in the back in the restaurant, and just not very good. And he also had a small business where he cut grass. And I told him he'd never cut another blade of grass again if he went through this process. And so he says here, living in the green zone has made my dreams come true with a thriving business and deep, meaningful relationships. Just in the last, like in November, December time frame, that he made more money than he did all of the 4 years previously in real estate. And then just one more, and a special one. I don't know if any of you know Michael Herman, but he's just a wonderful, wonderful man. Married to a wonderful lady, Tammy. She happens to be not only a real estate agent, but a broker. And they have a wonderful son, and they have an autistic child. And he's just a genuine, wonderful, kind, nicest man that I think I've ever met. And he was involved in a car accident about 5 years ago. And I actually just met with him yesterday. I just saw him and said, hey, why don't we sit down for a few minutes, let me know how things are going. And as we were talking, he started to tear up, and he was very emotional, and he just said, I just got to tell you that for 5 years, he was in pain and basically dysfunctional, could not function properly normally, couldn't run his real estate business at all, that, they really were on hard times, and he was in terrible, terrible pain in his neck. And he went through Top Performers, and this quote says 2 years ago, and actually I guess he told me this yesterday. It was 5 years that he was in this pain, and in just 6 weeks he was pain free. And that's the power, that you have the power to overcome any physical ailment that you have. And we're really, I've called you creators, but we're really co-creators, and we co-create with a power that is much greater than us that we can tap into. And so most of us call that power God. I'll sometimes refer it to as source energy. And so maybe give you a little bit different perspective, and that I'm also an ordained minister, so I've really focused in on, who is, in fact, I went to school for 4 years to be an ordained minister because I wanted to understand. The main reason is not to have a church, but to understand God and this God thing. And I've just been so blessed because of my experiences and because of me asking and wanting to know that I understand how life works, and that this top performers can help you in your own way find your path in order to, and what I do is I guide you to your path, and then you will create your path, and you'll see it'll be lit up. And again, this co-creation, on you start the whole creation process by your thoughts, and then with your thoughts, those transmit an energy, which we call emotions, feelings, out to your source, and your source then immediately responds with the answer. The reason why we don't see it in our experience sometimes, and about the greatness of source energy and that God is because we haven't aligned our energy with it. We have thoughts that we say, oh, we want this, like a thriving business, and then we say, oh, where am I going to get clients? Or, oh, I hope this isn't a bad deal, which if I'm thinking about a bad deal, then you'll have a bad closing, or you'll be wasting your time and they won't sign the contract with you, or whatever. But with Michael Herman, it just was a pleasure he is a witness of the power and the strength of God, and that each one of you are, in that when you start working with God, that you'll see that you'll be able to create everything that you want to, include overcome any pain, or if you want to become thin, trim, fit, healthy, looking younger every day. I just love saying that to myself every day, looking younger. And you'll hear about a joy shop that I'm going to ask you to do every morning. And that's going to just start raising that vibration of you and raising your vibration to your source. And you're going to be at one with your source, and you're going to start rocking in life. And so there's just a couple of people that we've actually had, I think, close to 100 real estate agents in the last couple of years go through, Ultimate Real Estate agents go through this process. And virtually all of them, most of them end up selling like 3 homes per month. They build deeper, more meaningful relationships, and just some really incredible thing. So here's 2 people, and that maybe before you came on this call, that you thought that life happens to you, and that you thought that that circumstances around you, that you have no control of them. And I'm here to say that you're actually that happy little guy on the left there. And almost with the little angelic, the little yellow things up there, almost a halo, if you will, that life comes from me. And everything that all of your life experiences that you've had, that you've actually created them. And sometimes that's a little hard to take that responsibility. But I'm telling you that all of your life experiences put you right on this call today, and this is going to change your life. Your life is going to start being your dreams come true, and you're going to realize that you are the creator and life comes from you. So pretty exciting, huh? Any questions or comments? Are you revved up about it? Does it sound like something you're interested in pursuing and learning more about?
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Well, good. Well, so let me start getting into this teaching. That so far you may think that what I'm teaching you is a little far out there, and how can this be real and whatever. But in fact, in the last 5 years, science has proven this. Neuroscientists, quantum physics, and molecular biologists have all agreed that here's how creation works. And step 1 is that your thought initiates all matter into form. And so when they say matter, M-A-T-T-E-R there, when they're talking about matter, that's your circumstances, your events, the things that you create, the people that you're an attractor, you're the inviter of life, and so you attract. And so you have attracted the people. So if you wake up on the ornery side of the bed, that you're going to start going through your day and you're going to start seeing more ornery people. Because whatever you are, that your point of attraction, that you're going to attract it. And so as you raise your vibration, start waking up on the right side of the bed, if you will, start feeling good. The most important thing that you can do is feel good. That as you do, you're going to start seeing just amazing people and circumstances and events come to you. In fact, we have coined a phrase, and that phrase is that things are going to come from you out of the blue, out of the woodwork. Just amazing things, amazing thoughts are going to come to you, amazing people, circumstances, and events are going to come to you where you're going to just say, this is just unbelievable. But one of the things I want you to do, and if you have something to write down on, that one of the things I want you to do is I want you to start seeing God at work for you. That again, you start it all with your thought. And then I want you, and as you do, start seeing and recognizing God at work for you, these amazing, like just a person that walks by you that smiles, okay, to recognize on that they're smiling because of your smiling, you're feeling good and better, that as that is, and as you recognize that, it tells the universe, give me more of it. And you'll see more and more responses because you're aligning more and more with your source. So step one is your thought initiates all matter into form. Then step two is your thought then creates energy. And again, the energy, this is the terms that the scientists use. For us, our energy is our emotion. We're vibrational beings. You all know from science that, our cells, we're not this body that it seems like this hard body. These are all moving parts. We have over 300 trillion cells within our body. And I want you to be thinking about how you have 300 trillion happy cells in your body. Like, for example, if you think for a moment that you're going to get cancer, that, you know what? You just started that train going on getting cancer. Nothing can come to you. No illness, no disease, no bad things will ever come to you as long as you're thinking about the things that you want. That's why never be against anything. The march against cancer, and especially breast cancer, just try to ignore that. Remember, whatever I focus my attention on, and maybe you want to write this down, whatever I focus my attention on, I get more of it. And I'm not going to focus my attention on something like cancer. Instead, I'm going to focus my attention on my good health, on being happy, on feeling good, on flowing and asking for source energy to just flow through me and to make all my cells 300 trillion happy cells. And so we're emotion, and that emotion is in fact, when we came here to this world, that we had this, if you will, agreement with our source. How would we communicate with each other? And the way we communicate is when you think of thought that isn't aligned with your source, with the way God thinks about that subject, that you will feel bad, and that is the communication from your source to say, I don't feel that way. So when you're saying, I hate that person over there, you're not feeling good, because I'm telling you that person, whatever person you're mad at, angry at, whatever, that God thinks that is a loving person, that God is saying you're made in the image and likeness of God, of me, and so because of that I will feel bad. So I have this beautiful communication. Each of us have this beautiful communication system that we have with our source, that whenever so you don't necessarily have to monitor your thoughts. What you need to do is monitor your feeling. How am I feeling? And if I'm feeling good, That means, wow, I'm lining up to the way that God feels and thinks about this subject. So we have this beautiful communication system and with our source, and that now you recognize, most of us have been told, oh, don't cry, and especially guys have been, told don't have any emotion, don't have any, feeling, don't cry or whatever. Like, I love going to chick flicks. I think they're just great. I love crying and happiness and joy usually, okay, that I love showing my emotions, because, and especially my good emotions, because that means that I'm being aligned with my source, and that makes me happy. And it's all about you. If you want to help other people in this world, the number one most effective way is for you to thrive. As you thrive, so the whole world thrives. And so how beautiful that is, that we can release some of these old beliefs and these things that we've been taught about, like, oh, don't be selfish. It's all about thinking about yourself, and that way it helps all other people. That there wouldn't be poor people if we'd all be thinking about the things that we want. And so you have the privilege, if you will, to be able to sit right here and hear this and start understanding on how your communication system is with your source, on how powerful your thoughts are. They create, you can see on this page that the number one area is your thought. And that your thought initiates all matter into form, and then this thought creates that energy, and that for us is our emotion. And then the scientists state that the energy then creates matter. So thoughts become things. And so how beautiful it is. We sometimes take for granted that we have this beautiful thinking mind, and that this mind creates our life. And so we want to just cherish it and be gentle on ourselves and be easy. I want each of you to be easy and kind and loving to yourself. And I want you to start allowing your good to come to you. And I'll show you how to do that. So Albert Einstein says, thoughts create matter. And this is not psychology. This is physics. So I'm now going to take you through the 4 different zones of how we think. And if you want to write this out, that there is power in writing things down. That by writing it down, it is the most effective way in order to focus your thoughts. So since our thoughts create, how can I focus my thoughts most effectively? And that's by writing it down. And you'll see I'm going to give you a fun little thing that you'll do every morning that'll change your life, and it's called this Joy Shop. And then you're going to be writing down some thoughts about what you desire, what you appreciate, and what you're going to pre-pave how you want your day to be. But before we do that, we're going to take a look at these 4 different zones. And again, you may want to just write in 4 zones, a big square and then 2 lines down, and write the following. That the first zone that we're going to take a look at, the top left, is talks about what do I want? And so it's where I'm thinking. And so these are the 4 different areas where I'm thinking. And when I think about what I do want, and then when I think about it non-deliberately, in other words, I don't deliberately pre-pave how I want my day to be, or how I want this meeting to be, or how I want my workout to be, or how I want my afternoon to be, whatever. That if I don't do that, then what happens is life happens to me. And so this is a red zone, and this is where I am reactive to life. It's like all of a sudden I find myself in the closing, and like everything is going wrong. And then I say, well, what do I want? Well, I want it to go right. Well, there's too much momentum going bad that is going to prevent you from changing it. It's kind of like if you take a car and you push it just a little down a real steep hill, And then you stand in front of it, and then you can stop it because there's not too much momentum. But if you push a car down a real steep slope, and you're standing at the bottom of the slope, and you say at this steep slope and hill that you're down there, and you say, I'm going to stop this car. Well, it has too much momentum. And so what I want you to do is start thinking about what will be, and that start pre-paving your life the way it is. Because otherwise, you're going to get a reactive life. And I know that all of us have experienced where, wow, I find myself in the situation and I don't like it. And I start thinking about what I do want out of that, but it's too late and I can't do much about it. And I get life by default. And it's kind of like it decreases my success. And it's kind of like, if you don't pre-pave, if you don't, another word could be used, a plan, but I like pre-paving. But if you don't pre-pave it and you don't plan it, someone else will. And this is about your whole life. And so you want to make sure that you're very, very intentional. But again, in this zone, it decreases your success and it increases your stress. It's kind of like jumping out of a plane and then all of a sudden thinking, after you jumped out of the plane, God darn, I forgot that parachute. And so indeed, you forget the parachute, and so you just got to hang on and wait till it's over. And so all of us have been in this where, I haven't been intentional and deliberate in identifying what I want and then calling it the way I want it. Another area is what I don't want. And this is a red zone, and this is where I think non-deliberately, and it's what I don't want. And it's busy work. So, for example, you might have said, let's say this weekend, you say, Saturday morning, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to clean out my closet. And so you wake up Saturday morning and you have some coffee and then, you read the paper and turn on the TV. Pretty soon it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You haven't even touched that closet. Another good example in business is that, we have a client that they're already closed and everything's fine with them and we get along great with them. And I could call them, but I also have a prospect. And that prospect could give me a $300,000 home. And so the busy work would be, I'm just going to call my buddy because it's an easier way, whatever. And it's not that I don't want you to do easy, because I do want you to be easy on yourself, but at the same time that I want you to think about what do you want? And in this case, is what I don't want. And what I don't want is, I get a friendly conversation, but I don't get what I want, and that is to have more business. So it's almost like an attitude of so what? And so you're not a deliberate creator in that. You're still creating, but you're not creating the things that you want, and you don't have the happiness and the joy that you want. Your source wants you to be happy. And so how can you be happy when you're kind of doing just this busy work? And the fact is that you can't. And so the bottom line is it decreases your success and it increases your stress. So far looking at this, you might think, hey, this is pretty depressing. And I find myself sometime in this. And, I'm an international speaker. I'm a business coach, a real estate coach. That I have, I'm supposed to be a motivational guy. And so far this is pretty depressing. And it gets worse. And so how does it get worse? And so now we're in the bottom right-hand red zone. And it's when I think about what I don't want, and I deliberately do that. And this is a red zone, and this is where those committee members have arrived, where we focus on the things that we don't want. And we deliberately think about it. We have been taught, like, for example, our parents, we love them to death. They did, wonderful things, and we're grateful for them. We appreciate them. But, they taught us some things that just really didn't make sense. Let me give you one example that, how many of you were told, don't talk to any strangers? Well, if you don't talk to any strangers, that what you're going to find is you don't have any business, you don't have any new people you're meeting, etc. And so I want you to be aware. Hey, someone's making a lot of noise there. I think I'm going to put you guys on mute here. Let me just see. It's to mute myself. Don't want that. Okay, well, actually, it's down now. So, anyways, I got you guys unmuted so you can talk, and if you do have any questions, I want you to bring them up. And so, back to the committee members. See, we were told to be guarded. There's nothing for us to be guarded about. There is only well-being that flows. The only reason why we see things that aren't well-being, that aren't good in our life, is because we have thoughts, or we will observe other people that have bad things going on in their life because they have thoughts that are committee thoughts about being guarded, for example, that I have to guard myself. And I'm saying to you each that in your heart, you have a little girl, a little boy in you that is holding guard, if you will, against your heart because you have been hurt. And that I'm sharing with you that it's okay now. And I'd like you to just have them be at that little boy, that little girl, whatever age you were where you were hurt, where you felt you needed to be guarded, that you now, today, are being told on how life works, on how you can be well, and you don't have to be guarded ever, ever again. So I want you to say to that loving little child in your heart that's guarding it, I want you to say the word at ease, to just be at ease and to rest quietly and gently in your heart, to thank them for helping, guarding you, and protecting you, but you don't need that anymore. That because what you want to do is you want to experience life to its fullest. And so you ask, and ask and you shall receive. Knock and the door shall open. Seek and you shall find it. And that's what this whole teaching is about. And so I want you to open up your heart and to ask for your heart to be open. And as you shine your light out first to yourself and to the world, that you're going to see, you're going to start attracting people that are more loving, that are more gracious, that are friendlier, that are harmonious, that all the things that you have asked for are now on their way as you open up your heart. So back to these committee members. That committee members prevent us from opening up our heart, prevent us from having the joy. We came here to have more joy, to have more freedom, and to have more growth. And so for us to do that, we need to quiet the committee members, not in a mean way, not in an angry way, but to just not pay any attention to them anymore. That those committee members that include, my little thing isn't working again. Let me see here. I can't go to the next screen for some reason. There we go. Okay. So committee members, and a lot of it has to do with our past, about what was. And all of those things that happened to you before, no matter how guarded you were, no matter how much you protect yourself from, that it's going to happen again if you continue to think about that past and continue to be angry at that person or hurt about this or that release that and allow yourself to have the love of God just pour over all of those things that have happened. And the way to do that is to be thinking and focusing your attention on what you do want. And so these committee members, they're fear, and fear is an acronym, F period, E period, A period, R period, and it's false evidence appearing real. The insurance industry, because of their life insurance, they make money by people continuing to pay life insurance and not dying. So they wanted to find out, why are people dying? And they found the number one reason for people that die in the United States is heart disease. So they said, well, let's look into heart disease and find out what's causing heart disease. They found out that what's causing heart disease is our stress. And if you'll notice, all three of these red zones increase your stress. Your thoughts are literally killing you when you're in these three red zones. And so the industry, again, the insurance industry looked and they said, well, tell me, where does the stress come from? And so they looked at that and they researched, they spent millions of dollars on this, and they researched that, and they found that most people's stress was coming from fear. So they looked at what the things people were fearing, and they found that 93% of the things that we fear never even happened to us. So we're wasting this magnificent creative mind at our source that God has given us, that we wasted on a bunch of committee members. And so today is your day to say, you know what? I'm going to release any fear, any worry, any doubt, because the more I focus on any of that, gee, is my business going to continue to go? Where's the next deal going to go? When you're asking in fear and doubting that it's coming, I'm telling you, there is only well-being. There is only good that flows, but you are the controller of how much good's going to flow into your life. And if you allow the committee members to take over, then you're going to find those things that you fear, worry, and doubt coming on your path because you're attracting them. And so the beauty is that, wow, you can just release that. And again, I'm going to show you this joy shop on how you're going to be able to start every morning releasing all of that and starting that positive momentum. And you know, there's a statement that says, your cup overfloweth. Then what's going to happen is you're going to start seeing, as you feel good, as you're thinking good thoughts about what you want, that you're going to start seeing you provide some positive momentum. And that momentum is going to create things because you're a co-creator. God is going to say, oh, you want that? I'm going to give you more of it. And you're going to start seeing that, and it's all downstream. It's all easy. Most of us have been in this stream swimming upstream, and it's been tough and it's been rugged, and how do I get a good significant other, or how do I change this person, or how do I build my business, how do I have better health, how do I lose some weight, that, you know, and we've been focused all on this stuff, on what we don't want, and we've been struggling in life going upstream. And today, right now, that you are going to now start going downstream, and you're going to just start saying, yeah, I'm going to release, and I'm going to trust that my thought does create, and that I'm going to trust God to bring me what I'm thinking for. That's called prayer. Your thought is your prayer. And just as Christ every morning went out and prayed, that so every morning you're going to go out and go into the joy shop and start feeling good about the things that you want, and you're going to start seeing yourself manifesting amazing things. I don't want you to think about you being overweight. I want you to think about being fit and trim. That I don't want you to think about, I might get this over here. No, I don't might get anything. I invite everything. And so I'm going to stop watching all the TV news and everything. I'm going to stop paying attention to people that are thinking negative things or to bad situations or whatever, because now you understand, the more I think about anything bad, the hungry children in the world, if I think about hungry children, there's going to be more I created, and you'll find more and more. The law of attraction will bring you all similar cooperative components to you. So my goodness, I have a choice. I can either think about what I don't want, or I can think about what I do want. And you know what? I've decided I'm going to think about what I do want, because I understand that my source wants me to be joyful, and for me to be joyful, it's to be thinking about what I do want, and that I no longer am swimming upstream. Instead, I'm going to go downstream, and I'm going to start enjoying myself, just enjoying and picking my desires like low-hanging fruit. And, oh, I want this, and I get this. Ask, and you shall receive. You just haven't received it because you make conflicting thoughts when you ask, gee, I want more money, and then you start saying, oh, during the day, I don't have enough money for that Bentley, or I don't have enough money for that fur coat, or whatever you're looking at. That you can't say that. Instead, say, hey, I might get that fur coat, or I may get those new clothes. But if you start saying to yourself, I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough time, or I'm too busy, you're not going to have enough time, and you're not going to have enough money. I want you to build a new relationship between you and money. Right now, for most of us, it's been that money is this lost, kind of old, bad relative, okay? Never around, and not enough of it, and wow, how this isn't, and then I've been taught these ridiculous things like money is the root of all evil. I would say to you, just about, not quite, but the root of all evil is lack of money. And I kind of joke about that, but the fact is that money equals your freedom. In our society, that money gives us more choices, gives us more variety. Money is good. If you want to help your church, if you want to help the charities, that go out and allow more money. You make it. You create whatever you want. There weren't, 100 years ago, there weren't any millionaires. Now there's tens of thousands of millionaires. Just like, I think maybe 30 years ago, there weren't any billionaires. Now there's 400 billionaires. Well, where does this money come from? Are they importing it from some other planet or something? No, we're all creating it. And you can create as much money, you can create as much happiness, you can create the relationships you want, you can find your soul partner, you can do whatever you want. You have the power, but you have to have consistent thoughts about what you want. You can't be thinking about what you don't want, and that's where this committee gets in, on this fear and worry and doubt. And again, usually it has to do with some past experience, and the past is dead, and it has no influence on you unless you allow it to have influence on you. You're the creator of your experience. That's it, period. No one else no one else can make you angry unless you allow yourself to be angry, and no one else can make you happy unless you allow yourself to be happy. So why not allow yourself to be happy? And so the net result, living in the red zone, it decreases your success and it increases your stress. So any questions about those red zones? Can everybody relate being in those red zones? That, and again, you're free to, comment here, that where do you think most of the time you're in? Probably when you saw that first top left one, you figured, yeah, maybe, I'm not as deliberate as I could be. And then you saw a little busy work, and so probably some of you have thought about, yeah, busy work, but where most of us hang out is with those committee members. And KW says very relatable, thank you. And that it is in fact that we've hung out and we didn't realize it, that we just kind of found ourselves in there, and we've been taught a lot about how to fear things, how to worry about things, how to doubt things. Like money, if you were brought up in a family that didn't have enough money, that's their beliefs first, that they felt there wasn't enough money, And then they showed you, see, there's not enough money. And then you started having the belief, wow, there isn't a lot of, enough money. And then you might have had, beliefs. They might have told you money doesn't grow on trees. I was retired living in Florida, and I'm telling you, there's billions of dollars of money growing on trees, orange trees, grapefruit trees. Money does grow on trees. That I actually saw a young guy, a kid, I'd call him. I'm 60 years old. The kid feel like about 17 though, but some kid probably 32 years old was driving Rolls Royce, and I live in a very affluent neighborhood, and so all these fancy cars are around, and a person, I heard a person comment, oh, they must have drug money. What do you mean drug money? They're probably in technology, that they allowed that. All you have to do is allow it. And so we've been brought up, but if you're in that family that was brought up with these different ideas, that you say, hey, this is reality, and that I'm here to share with you that I never, like when people say face reality, there is no way I'm ever going to face reality. Instead, and maybe you want to write this down, I don't face reality, I create reality. And the fact is, you do. Your reality can change from let's see, we have to train ourselves to be deliberate. Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to train you on how to be deliberate. Just again, another note that popped up here. And that see, the only reality is all your thoughts that you've had previously creates the reality that you're currently having. And so thus you say, but it's true. There are, whatever, money is hard to get or whatever. And if you've been brought up to be, but the fact is that there's all the money that you want. I have this fun little story that I want to share with you. It's it's a guy dies, and there really is no death, and that there's everlasting life. But this guy dies, goes to heaven, sees Peter, at the gates, and so they go into heaven, and Peter's showing him around, and in different doors, they're opening up different doorways and showing different things, and they come to one door, and it has the guy's initials on the door. And he goes, wow, what's in here? And he opens it up, and gosh, this beautiful house is there, this beautiful car that he always wanted there, this beautiful woman is there, that, all of these things that he had asked for, that he had thought about. And he goes, my God, this is a whole bucket full of money, like, millions of dollars, a treasure chest just filled with all kinds of money. And he goes, what's this? What happened? And he goes, well, you asked for it, and, we had it all waiting for you here, but you never allowed it in. You never were deliberate in your thinking and then realizing how important your emotions, your feelings are to raise yourself up to all the things that you want. And so I'm telling you that today you now are going to realize on how to have all of your dreams come true. So where are we going? We're going to go, and from the next 4 sessions that we have, or is it 5? I guess 5 more sessions we have after this, that it is to becoming deliberate, and it's thinking about what I do want, and then to deliberately be thinking about what I do want. And you're going to be amazed at how much stuff you have been thinking about that you don't want. You think like you're going to do good by trying to be a problem solver. And so I don't want you to be a problem solver anymore. I want you to be a deliberate creator, and then creating the things that you want. If you're a problem solver, you're going to just continue to have more and more problems, because remember, whatever I focus my attention on, that more of it's coming my way. It's kind of like to understand that the universe doesn't understand don't, because your feelings, it doesn't really even understand English or Spanish or any language, that it understands your feeling. It's the perfect communication system. Words aren't adequate enough, like the love of your child or the love of your parents or whatever, that can you describe that? Words aren't adequate to describe that words can't do it, but your feelings, you could feel those feelings. Well, again, that communication system that you have with your source, that you can feel that and communicate that and realize that that you can have all that you want as you raise those feelings. And so your thoughts create immediately a feeling. So step one is your thoughts create. Step two is those thoughts then go to your creating. So when you say, I don't want a bad closing, you're vibrating at this low bad closing. And so you're going to, in fact, attract more bad closings. So thus, what we're going to think about is, wow, I don't care what happened in the past. I don't care how any person was. I'll give you a great example on how you can change. You have the power to change any person that you want. And so you may say, well, how can that be that I thought you can't change anybody? Oh, yeah, you can change anybody you want. And so I'm going to give you an example. I had an agent come to me and said, listen, I've been married for 13 years, and this guy, her husband, I can't stand him. That, he doesn't support me. He doesn't respect me. He doesn't think my job, my real estate business is very good. He doesn't like my house, complaining. And when she got done, I said, okay, that's great. Now, you told me everything that you don't want. Now, I want you to tell me, what do you want? She kind of stopped and went, well, gee, I haven't thought about that. And I said, exactly. And here's a point now that I'm going to share with you, that when you understand this, it's going to free you and make you so happy that you're in this life, in this world, that we live in a world of contrast, and it has everything. It has any and everything that we want, all our desires, all our beliefs, anything. Now, whatever you want, that you can go to it and you can find more and more of it. It's called the law of attraction. That's how it does. And so you'll run in. Life is kind of like a smorgasbord, like you're sitting at this big buffet. And so let's say you don't like spinach. Don't be standing around complaining about the spinach when there's all the flaming yods and lobsters and everything. Just go over there. But what we have a tendency to do is focus on the things we don't like. And so when something bad is, we Facebook about it, we text about it, we tweet about it. We're doing all this stuff about all this bad stuff. Well, what's it doing? It's growing in your life, and it'll attract more people to you. And boy, you're going to have just a robust things about this negative vibration that you are creating. So whenever anything, and here's the lesson: whenever anything happens to you that you don't like, that is what we used to call bad, simply take a look at it. Don't get emotionally involved with it. Take a look at it and say, that's what I don't want. Okay, let's say a prospect was rude and said no to you. Instead of hanging your hat on that and talking about it and, thinking about it and everything, say, oh, that's what I don't want. And then ask yourself, what do I want? Do you see this contrast in this beautiful, awesome, perfect world that God's created for us, that we are able to understand what bursts our desire are the things we don't want. If we didn't have those things, that contrast in our life, it would never birth our desires and then increase our desire for it. If you didn't at some point have a lack of money, then you wouldn't have birthed the desire to have more money or to have a thriving business. And so you want to hang your hat on what you do want. So the things that have ever happened to you and the things that from here on out ever happened to you, I want you to look at when it's quote unquote bad. Now you just say, oh, this is contrast. This is what I don't want. And it has birthed now a desire. And I'm asking my source, what is that desire? And your source will lead you to the thoughts, the people, the circumstances, and events to understand what your desire is, and not only understand what it is, but to give it to you to have your reality that you created on what you want. And so if you just understand that lesson and quit complaining, in that committee stuff, and just focus in on what you want, and whenever something bad happens, bad closing, you say, okay, that's what I don't want. What do I want? And you ask that, and you shall be free in order to live the type of life that you want. So back to this, what do I do want deliberate? It's living in the green zone, a deliberate creator. It's good feeling thoughts. And what are some easy, real quick, good feeling thoughts? Things that you desire. Most of us don't know what we want because we've been too busy thinking about what we don't want. Then I want you to start thinking and asking every day. So like if there's some assignment success steps for you to take, that one of them will be to ask yourself every day, what do I want? And just gently ask for that. And then you will start be given the answers. Now I'll tell you, here's how life works. And another key is when you think a thought that you don't create momentum, okay, you aren't being answered, you don't create enough energy, if you will, until you thought about that thought for over a minute. And you will see that you will be given at least 4 thoughts. So if you think of one thought, so I'm just going to randomly think about, I want good health, okay? And then I say, yeah, I want good health. I want to be thin, trim, and fit. I love that. You know, I love that I have 300 trillion cells in my body, and I control them with my mind. And I love that I now have happy cells. In fact, I'm going to ask all of my cells to be their natural selves because since there's only well-being that flows to me from my source, that if I just allow it, that I can have 300 trillion happy cells. I just love that thought. And, you know, I'm inspired now to, I think that I'm going to ask for me to be, to eat healthier. And that I know I'll just be guided to that, to eat healthier. And I just love that I can call on the universe and it can deliver to me anything that I want. I just love being this deliberate creator and I love being healthy. Now that, my friends, is about a minute worth of just thinking on that idea, and I have started the momentum for good health to come to me. Now, if I would, in 5 minutes from now, start saying, oh, gee, my left knee hurts or whatever, I'm sending contradictions to my good health, and so now that slows that train down, if you will. If you invest, which the Joy Shop will be for 15 minutes every morning, that I want you to invest in the Joy Shop, that we'll get to in a minute, that if you invest in the Joy Shop, that what will happen if you do it for 15 minutes, you're going to send, remember, 1 minute, it is enough momentum to get the momentum going. 15 minutes sends bullet trains from heaven on the things that you want. And that's why the Joy Shop, as you are feeling good, that not only on whatever subjects you're talking about are going to start coming to you, but all other things that you have asked for that you do want that aligns with what your true intent is of your greater self will come to you. So again, Joy Shop, 15 minutes will give me bullet trains from heaven coming to me of all the desires that I want. And so you are the inviter of what you want. And so you are the inviter of what you are. You are the creator, the inviter. You're the conductor. Imagine that you are the conductor in front of this awesome, non-physical orchestra, and that you are, with the magic wand that you have in your hand, which is your thoughts, that you lift that magic wand and that the entire universe is there answering, wanting to respond to whatever the next thought that you have, the next movement of that wand, that it is going to be just magical. And you're going to start seeing amazing things as you're become more and more aware that there's the whole universe of everything that you want. And, you know, like if you ever said like, wow, things can't get any worse than this, and then they get worse. Well, that's that same universe giving you, there's no judgment. And so when you say, gee, it can't get worse than this, which is low vibration. How can it even get worse than this? That all of a sudden it gets worse. Well, the fact is, from now on, things are just going to get better and better for you. And isn't that a great thought? And knowing is that things are just going to get better and better as I invite the things into my life. I'm this conductor that I have the whole universe sitting there waiting for me and my thoughts in order to create whatever you want. And so think about what will be. And I want you to get more thinking about, instead of what was, it's dead. What is great, and to enjoy the present moment. That's where all your power is. But in your power, you want to create what will be. What will be the rest of the day? What will be this year? What will be in your lifetime? I want to live in a good thing that maybe you want to even write down is, I want to live a long, healthy, and prosperous life. And doesn't that feel good? Isn't that what you want? You know, so for your whole lifetime, that's what you want. And remember, you have for everlasting life, and you're eternal. And so, but this body it just goes away. But all of your feelings have been captured, and all the expansion, the growth, and that your joy is all captured by your inner being and your source. And so, you play a very critical point in all that is to expand all that is. And so know that you are so, so important. And because you're on this call, you're a leading edge creator, and out on that leading cutting edge, if you will, that there's not a big crowd out there, but is every and anything that you want, to include a blissful, happy state. And all the money, all the business, all the relationships, all the happiness, the joy, the good health that you want is now on its way to you. So the bottom line of the green zone, it increases your success and decreases your stress. So that is an overview of our thoughts, and specifically on the green zone, on the rest of our time together is going to be invested, and through all these sessions is going to be invested on how do I live in the green zone. And so I can tell you right now that if you would take a look, and I'm going to ask you a question. Do you want to live in the green zone? And so if the answer is yes to that, then this process, this top performance is for you, because I will show you the path to live in your green zone. And Julie says, yes, I love that. Yeah, that, be excited about this. Excitement is good. You raise your energy to that of your source as you get excited about this, and then get excited about your life and about your business. And this is moving forward. So what I'm going to do is we have about 15 minutes, so I want to make sure that we get all our things. So your thoughts create immediately, and I'm going to go through just all this and get out of it. And I'm going to go to what our success assignments are. And so the first one is, I sent you last night what's called 15 Minutes to My Happiness and Joy, and this is your joy shop. Now, here's how this works. That every morning, I want you to wake up 15 minutes early. Now, if you have a thought like, oh my gosh, 15 minutes early, that, don't have resistant thoughts. You want to have allowing thoughts that go to bed early, 15 minutes early, whatever. But you want to have a good attitude on this is going to change your life. You're going to see by the time next week happens that you're going to be able to share with me. And in fact, during the week, I want you to share with me. You're going to start seeing some amazing things happen to you. The power of God is going to work for you like you've never, ever seen before as you get focused and deliberate and feeling good. The most important thing you can do is to feel good. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through this 15 minutes to my happiness and joy. And I want you to review it first, that make sure that all these sentences, these thoughts, make you feel good. If you have some resistance or you don't believe it or whatever, just take it out. And so, but most of this should be, just fine. It's all good feeling thoughts, okay? And so this is the start of your 15 minutes. So this will take you a few minutes to take through and say it with feeling. If you have other thoughts, what I do is I'll actually write it down. Like, for example, I turn my vibration to where it feels better and feels right. And then I may write something in there. So this should be printed out and then read. And then any other thoughts, because you're going to start getting cooperative thoughts, cooperative components. You're now a cooperative component. The first cooperative component that you got to have to create is you being cooperative and understanding this is how life works. If you don't yet quite believe that, just say, what the heck? I'm just going to do it for 7 days and see if this works. And you'll see, again, amazing things starting to happen as long as you believe it. It is done unto you as you believe. And this, I know, is a path that has helped so many people and will help you now. So you read that and you can see I love allowing X number of dollars or more in my checking account. So think about what that number is. And you don't necessarily have to write it in there, right, the first day or whatever. But what does feel comfortable? I love allowing $5,000 a month. I have one agent that that started at $5,000 per month, and let's see, I met with them in the middle of December, and they're now at $25,000 a month, and they really believe and feel good about $35,000 per month. This agent went from selling 1 or 2 homes a month, was a pretty good agent at about an average of $100,000, to now he averages about $250,000, sells 4 or 5 homes per month, and is one of the top 250 agents in the United States. So those are just some of the things that can happen with you when you do that. And that he also personally coaches with me, but you have the power to do every and any of this. So the first thing is that they say you haven't seen that. I'll make sure that I send it out to you, but it's called Joy Shop, 15 Minutes to My Happiness, and so this is the Joy Shop, and again I'll send it out in my recap. I'll send that out. So there's the Joy Shop. Now, we also have another thing that I sent on that same attachment. So I sent you an email last night, but I will resend all of this again. But it's Top Performers Desire Sheet, my desire sheet. And what I want you to do is I'd like you to print out 2 of these. And the first one is my desire, what I want. And you may want to take a little time to think about this, but the first one will be about your professional goal. So what do I want? I want to sell 3 or more homes per month. I want to allow over $10,000 per month into my checking account and into my experience. I want to have 2 listings per month. I want to attract an ideal referral partner, and we'll talk about referral partnerships in another session, which is the #1 way in order to build your business. Like I just gave the example of the one real estate agent that he built his business the #1 way, other than the Joy Shop and thinking differently, that as far as the strategy is referral partnerships. So you may say, I want to have 3 wonderful referral partners that give me referrals all the time. And then what I want you to do is write down, first of all, what I want, okay, professionally, and then why I want it. And by the 4th thought, you're going to start creating that energy, that motion. So that's why I want you to have this why I want it, and start writing down why I want it. Wow, I want it because I will feel so powerful and know that I am a magnificent creator as I have these things in my business. Another reason why I want it is I love the freedom of having that money, and then I'll have more choices and more variety and be able to use my money to help more charities or whatever I desire. that what's another reason that you want it? That I love building a thriving business, that it gives me security. It builds a foundation for me to do. So again, write down what you want and then why I want it, four of those, and then why I want it, four reasons why you want it. So if you just think about what you want and why you want it, those two things, then you'll get it. It's that easy. You will get it. And so I want you to write that for your professional goal, and then I want you to write a personal goal. So what do I want? I want to, and don't say lose 10 pounds, that I want to be thin, trim, and fit. Now, you can measure that on pounds if you want, but if you say I want to be slim, trim, and fit, that's really what you want, okay? It's not about the pounds. And most people, when they have a goal of, I want to get down to X number of pounds and lose so many pounds, they hit that goal, and the subconscious kicks in and says, okay, we hit that goal, and what happens? You weigh 5 more pounds than what you did originally. And so that's why I always want to be slim, trim, and fit. I am so healthy, I can't tell you on how healthy. I don't have a pain in me. I was told by doctors I couldn't, why I couldn't function. I'd have chronic pain. I don't have any pain. I feel magnificent, and it's all, not one drug did it, not one operation. In fact, I never had an operation. I was told I should have an operation on my back. In fact, I was told on my neck. I was told operation on my knee, operation on my back, and all kinds of stuff. And I healed it all with the power of God that flows through me, that I allowed to flow through me. And this is, again, how. So identify what you want. So maybe, or a better relationship, if you want a better relationship. And remember, you want to think, and that story about, I was telling you about that relationship, 13 years with that lady, it was terrible. And so she started thinking about what she did want with him, to be supportive, to be loving, to be kind, respect her, all those things. Within 10 days, she came back to me after 10 days, and she said, my God, he's changing. And I said, he's not changing. You just changed your thought about what you wanted to see in him. So I want you to start changing your thoughts about anybody you don't like or whatever. Start changing your thoughts about how you want to see them, and you'll start seeing them change. Anyways, this guy changed like night and day, and they just had the most marvelous relationship. So that's my desire sheet. And so one professional, one personal. Then also I have given you, I sent you a 1 to 31, and again, I'll send this all to you, but a 1 to 31 tracking sheet. And what this is I want you to print this out, and you can maybe, and do make it however. I actually have an Excel thing if you want to use it, just electronically, but there's this power in writing it down. And so take it, put it on your refrigerator, put it, on your desk, by your computer, whatever, but every day. And the first, under personal goals, I want you to write down Joy Shop, okay? And that's 15 minutes of Joy Shop. And to finish up on Joy Shop, you read that Joy Shop, and then I want you to purchase or just get a tab of paper or a real nice journal, and I want you every day, so back to Joy Shop on this, that I read, step 1, read my Joy Shop. Step 2, write out my desires. So just start writing what you desire, what you like, what your preferences are. Every day this is. Every morning you wake up, read that, you get feeling good, and now you have a higher vibration, a higher point of attraction, and you write down, number 2, what your desires are. What do I desire? And they can be from yesterday, whatever. You want to continue to change the way that you're thinking and thinking about what you do want. And then step 3 is you want to pre-pave it. So you want to pre-pave what? Your day. So under personal goals, you can write down Joy Shop. And then today's the 22nd. So if you did the 22nd, put a little check mark. So every month you'll go through this. And then under Joy Shop, write down desires, okay? Because you're gonna, you're gonna read your Joy Shop. Then you're gonna write my desires, and then pre-pave my day. How do you want it? You call it the way I want it. You say, I want to drive carefully, safely, smoothly, and easily today. You can't say, I don't want any bad traffic, because that vibrates bad traffic, okay? You got to just say what you want. And then you say, oh, this meeting's going to be wonderful. No matter how bad that person was or whatever you say, I see this person that's just loving, loves me, trusts me, etc. You're going to start creating everything around you, how people are, how circumstances are, how events are. It's going to be so fun. You're going to be so rocking on this. You're going to just love it as you start pre-paving. Just be very easy on yourself. Now, here's a little hint. If you're writing down a desire and you say, you're thinking to yourself, there's no way I'm going to do this, or you're not feeling very good, like I'm going to be a millionaire by next month, and you're going, there's no way of doing that. Don't write it down. Get more general until you get, like, I'm going to earn more money next month than this month. That's a good one. Get more general. You feel good about it, and it'll come to you. The key is to feel good about whatever you're writing. An affirmation isn't squat, doesn't work at all if you don't feel good about it. You want to feel good about everything. I don't want you to do anything anymore unless you feel good. Okay? Then on this 1 to 31 tracking sheet, as you start being given by God, your source, be given other ideas, inspired ideas of what you want to think about or what you want to do, your behaviors daily, you'll write this on either personal goals or business goals. So you may say, I want to ask for 3 referrals a day. So under business goals, put that 3 referrals. And then at the end of the day, you close out your day by planning your next day. And then you say on the 27th, hey, and you review your day and you say, did I ask for any referrals? Number one reason why we don't get referrals, we don't ask. So, wow, this helps me. And just be gentle on yourself, and you'll start seeing it just all flowing and flowing. So, any questions about Joy Shop? You read the Joy Shop, you feel good, you get in this high vibration place with your source, and then you get out your journal, a tablet, whatever. I have a real nice, cool looking gold and green book that I use, and then you start writing out your desires, and then you then pre-pave your day on how you want your day to be, to include, I'm going to sleep well tonight. I'm going to sleep long. I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight. I'm going to sleep, and when I wake up, I'm going to wake up with positive momentum. The mojo is going for me now. Yeah, and as you do that, so when you go to sleep tonight, you say that you're going to sleep soundly and that I'm going to wake up with that positive momentum. And as you start molding your thoughts into what you want, living in the green zone, you're going to see this works like magic. Now, the first day, it may work for about an hour, and then all of a sudden, heck, you're back to stuff is going wrong for you or whatever. Then you say, hey, no big deal, no big deal. I at least had an hour green zone today. And then the next day, and you'll see your days are going to start getting more and more green zone. They're going to become more and more happier, more joyful. You're going to just start loving life. You're going to be so excited, even more so than wherever you are now, more and more so, and you're going to start seeing more and more good things coming from you out of the blue. Your job is not the how. Don't try to figure out how do I do anything. Your job is what I want and why I want it, and the universe will give you all the answers, all the thoughts, all the circumstances, all the places, people that you could have never, ever imagined. So that's how cool this is and how this process works. Last thing I'd like you to do is listen to, you got the audio tape for Success Unit 1, and I'd like you to, being intentional, and I'd like you to listen to that at least 6 times. So it's on MP3 format. If you want to do it while you're driving, that's okay, but don't take notes, of course, while you're driving, whatever. But if you think, all of a sudden you'll start thinking a thought, and then just stop it and run with that thought, and then continue. But you'll see by the 5th time you listen to it that you missed that thought, and where'd that thought come? Wow, I hadn't even heard that before. And that's because it takes about 6 times for us to start allowing new ideas and new thoughts, and this is going to be key to helping you change. The last thing is that I'm going to send you your behavior profile to complete. It'll just take about 10 minutes. It'll be awesome, the results, and I'll email you the results, and then we'll review that next week, and that's better understanding yourself and others. So we are out of time. but there's plenty of time. But as far as our schedule is concerned, any questions about the success assignments and making sure you do the joy shop, writing down your desires, writing down, pre-paving your day the way you want it, first thing in the morning. Hey, Michelle, thank you. You bet. I love having you on this. And so again, doing that, the 1 to 31 tracking sheet, to start using that. If you guys are working with each other or know each other, share your thoughts, talk about it. Contact me anytime you want to. Email me, call me, text me, whatever you want to do. Facebook me, get on Facebook with me. But whatever you want, communicate, and let's make this rockin'. And I am here and dedicated to helping you become your greatest possibility. Any other questions before we leave? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And I'm excited too, Christy. God bless you. Have a great week. Bye-bye.